Howdy crew, today I'm welding with my brand new Miller ArcReach 12 for the very first time. Let's get to it. If y'all recall, several vlogs ago, on the Miller Trailblazer 330 Air Pack stick welding vlog, I was saying about how I was trying to figure out the machine's quirks and that each machine is different. I'm really going to be diving into that topic more so today because I found a very big quirk in the Miller SuitCase ArcReach 12. Now, this is not saying that's going to be on every ArcReach, so you could be getting this exact same machine tomorrow and it might not have this issue at all, or this quirk. Not even really an issue, just this quirk. You may find something different on it, but I'm going to dive in again that each machine is different. And if you've welded with a bunch of different machines, you will know that every machine's different. They will not all be the same. You can have 20 machines come off the same assembly line, same day, same everything on them. They will all have something different about them. There's no way around it. It's just what it is. So, a little bit of backstory on starting these welds. This didn't start today. This started yesterday. I got to the yard early afternoon. I started getting everything out. Everything's plugged in. Everything's great. The Miller SuitCase ArcReach 12 powered up. Everything was fantastic. I ran the wire to the contact tip and went to start a weld, and the wire didn't move. It spooled up on the inside. It broke. So, ran it through again. Same thing happened. It happened over and over and over. And basically, from starting early afternoon, I went all the way at nighttime to where I couldn't see a darn thing. Same thing kept happening. And I was just trying to mull over what is the issue here. Is it broke? What happened? And so I was trying some other things this morning. And I found out the quirk for this machine is it is extremely sensitive to the tension on the wire. And what I found out was if I have it half a turn too much, it will bust the wire. If I have it half a turn too little tension-wise, it won't catch the wire. Now, this was new for me because I've used Miller SuitCases. ArcReaches I've used a couple, but mostly the older Miller SuitCases and then the LN25s. My ESA Rebel 205, a lot of them you can tighten it down as much as you want. You can have it as loose as you want. Most of them, and it will run just fine. Sometimes you get a little bit of issue. It'll be a little stickier, a little bit looser in there, but it's not to this extent. And I found that extremely interesting. So I'm very happy I found out the quirk. The weld itself was great. I have no complaints about it. Once I figured out the tension, the welds were fantastic. I really enjoyed it. This was the very first weld. I only went half a pass just to see where the machine was, to adjust some settings, and it was great. I really enjoyed it. It flowed nice and easy. I was very happy with how smooth it felt, and that it wasn't that I had to manipulate it because no matter what I had it set at, it was running too hot, or the wire felt like it was just jolty and pounding the parent metal in there. So I'm just very happy that it wasn't the weld that I had to manipulate or anything. Not that I couldn't do it, it's just, it's easier when it's some other quirk on the machine. And not that it's necessarily a fun quirk to deal with the tension, it's just, I just have to know the machine a little bit better on that department, which is fine. So continue going, not too shabby for just starting out the machine, getting the settings right. And for those y'all that weld with all kinds of wire feeders, y'all will know it's not a set wire feed speed, voltage, all that stuff, to where you just run the same pass with every single machine. It's just, it don't work that way. You figure out each machine, you test a little bit before you get on a structural weld. Okay, this machine runs a little bit hotter, runs a little bit colder. Wire feed speed, it feels a little bit faster on this one. It's just what it is. So I was just practicing, getting used to this one, and I kind of found some boundaries on it, but it's not anything that I'm not used to. You test what its limits are. What does it feel when it gets a little bit hot? What does it feel when you put the wire feed speed a little bit too much? Does it really mound up? Does it like to mellow out some and flatten out some? This one mounded up a little bit more, but that's nothing unusual. A lot of machines do that, so that's nothing out of the ordinary. It's quite regular to do that. So it was just figuring out the machine, but that one quirk that took forever to figure out what it was, what I was trying to figure out, was there something wrong with the liner? Because as you all saw, I put the liner in the Profax 1260 self-shielding gun and lead. So I was trying to figure out, was there something wrong there? Did I do something wrong? No, it was just the tension If it was just a little bit too much, it busted the wire. If it's too little, it didn't catch. So it's just always figure out your machines, learn your machines, get used to your machines. Because once you get used to it and you get in tune to a certain machine, it will tell you what it's going to do before it actually does it. You can feel the wire, you can feel the amperage and voltage, you can feel all of that before it really does something. You can feel when it's going to get ready to do a little bit of arc flow. You can feel what it's doing. And so I was going into vertical, everything was going great, and the welds was a little bit mounting up on vertical, so I had to adjust settings, but that's usual. I didn't care for the flux on this. I forgot what the name of the welding wire was, but I didn't really care for the flux, but that's just me. I like it when it kind of hardens up a little bit more and it peels off, but this kind of flux, it just doesn't do that, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. So I'm going to be getting some larger wire. This is 045. It's just a nice 10-pound spool to get used to the machine, just figure out what it does. So that's kind of what the vlog's all about, is get used to your machine. The Miller ArcReach 12, it did fantastic. There's nothing wrong with it. It has its quirks like any machine does. If you want an absolutely perfect machine, I don't think it really exists. Every machine's going to have a little bit of a quirk. Every machine's going to have a little bit of a difference from another. And if it's perfect for you, it may not be perfect for someone else. A perfect machine for someone else may not be perfect for you at all. So that's why I don't believe there's necessarily the perfect machine where everything will be the exact same on every single unit, no matter when it was made or what day, any of that. So this machine, I'm just putting it out there. If you have a little bit of issue, maybe check the tension on the drive rollers, and you spend a lot of time of testing the tension. And that's just a little bit of the thing to put out there. That was what I found on this one. If you all have an issue with voltage or wire feed speed, maybe your machine may have a little bit of quirk there. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to learn your machine. Learn it inside out. Learn what it does, and it will tell you what it's going to do before it even does it. Once you get in tune with the machine, you can feel it. You really can. You can feel it. You can feel all that. I don't even know how to really explain it. If you've been welding for a long time, I'm sure you know what that feeling is. But hope you all enjoyed. That's basically what's been going on. I'm going to be welding more and more with this to get just more used to it and practice with the tension. I want to see how it feels on the welding end, if I have it a little bit looser without being too loose and a little bit tighter without being too tight, because it's a very small margin of error with this one. So I want to see how that reacts. I want to test it because out in the field, I want to be more used to it before I just take it straight out in the field. So hope you all enjoyed, and I'll be seeing y'all in the next vlog.